I'll take into comment.
Very good, and Casey just. All right, so first up on the agenda, we have to approve and sign the minutes from the October 18th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, all those in favor? You could not. And you can't make the motion either. You need to
No, you
abstain.
need
I
to
was
abstain.
on that one.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
well, I'll make a motion.
I'll second those in favor. All those that abstain. Yeah, so the next one you need to abstain.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so we
let me
need
get
to,
this one around.
Yeah.
You're abstaining from that. I'm gonna go get them confused.
so next up, we need to approve and sign the minutes from the November 15th meeting. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion accept the minutes.
All right, I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. All those that abstain?
Aye.
Very good. What are we doing?
We were all here for that. Minutes
Yeah.
on 22nd.
22nd, yeah. So I have a motion to accept the minutes from the November 22nd workshop.
That motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Next up, we have.
No, Gil, you cannot sign. I'm gonna have to give
On
you
the
another one.
22nd, I think.
That's not the 22nd, that's the 15th. All right, so
Trying to do two things at once.
that's okay. I will get the new one.
Okay. This one you can sign.
Yes.
Was Igor coming in from one?
No,
He was
he's-
not, okay.
Present.
Okay, so we received an email from him that there was a major water leak at the Montauk Cabins that he has since found deteriorating underground water pipe and has repaired that. The water main and water service lines to cabins 6 through 12 were replaced. We're hoping that that will significantly reduce the water bill on our account. They're asking for some relief on the base rate at this location for the next billing cycle. So what I understand is the water leak drove them up into the category 5+, which is a 550,000 gallons or more. That's looking back, looking back at where they were prior to where the water leak started to occur. They were somewhere around 400,000. So maybe if we kind of meet in the middle and go, he's requesting to go back to the commercial 4 rate. I recommend we look at the commercial 4.5 rate.
I agree.
Because that's a lot
of water for
yeah,
that place.
and then we can revisit it. Thoughts if the water leak is fixed,
He's paid for the water.
right?
He paid for
He's
all the
still gonna pay
water.
$9.
He's still gonna pay he's gonna pay for all the water used with the leak. What he's asking on the next few bills to go to a base rate that's probably more correct. For the amount of water he's gonna use.
That's just paid for the leak, I don't say.
He has,
Yeah.
yeah, he paid for all the water that leaked. But he's just asking to go down the base rate to go down that we have to pay no matter what. To go down to the lower level. Yeah.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, so we'll make a motion to set the base rate at the commercial 4.5,
Sure,
and then we'll revisit it.
and then we'll know the next billing cycle
Right.
whether it's correct or not.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up, we have the MOU for the ice castles. I was recommending that maybe instead of having it as a June 1, that we bump it to October 1, where we're a little closer to the season and it's kind of a little more fresh in mind, and so that we catch it
Yeah,
a little bit sooner than in June.
right.
Or now, where we're
Yeah, now.
planning, so have the MOU expire October 1 versus June 1. Everything else, I think, stayed the same in the MOU.
The water usage got increased a little bit, but Mike's very comfortable with that since we fixed all those leaks.
Okay.
And he's basically in charge. If he decides he can't use water that day,
Right.
they can't use water that day.
Right,
So that's just the way it is.
okay.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but
Right.
you know, that's not the goal.
Yeah.
Right,
So you said we did get bumped a little bit?
Yes.
What is the current date, Catherine?
The
200 gallons per minute and a maximum of 180,000 gallons per day.
and you can go up. That's you can use without asking.
Asking.
Well, you gotta record it every day.
Right.
But we'll let you go up to 400 under certain circumstances, if the town's not busy, you know.
No.
Michael, keep an eye on the tank, but you two will have to work together on that.
Right.
And last year it worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to
Worked out
make sure
great.
you seek the permission of Mike.
Mike.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Great.
Yeah, so you have to ask permission before you go over the 180.
Right.
Any other questions, or comments, Bill?
No, I'm good with that.
You do that? Okay, so do I have a motion to accept the MOU?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next up, we can't sign that one, I just.
We just
Oh, you
made a
just did
change.
it.
We just did that one.
You need to make an edit, on the first
On the
page.
first page, but we're gonna change it to October 1st.
You change the top, but in the next paragraph down, it says June 6th.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Will do.
Thank you.
And the road one's good for them, yeah.
One more year, we're good in 2023.
Okay, great. So next up, we have, to review the auctioneer, agreements again. So you went back to them and spoke to them about,
Yeah, we took Mike's idea, which I thought was good, and I talked to him quite a bit about it. He didn't think it would lower the value of the property at all. Selling the, old highway garage with the contingency that the salt shed would stay there until I put June 1st, just to be, so there's no rush, there's no hassle about that, so. And he thought it would be best to do them all at once, you know, so we have a big crew in town and you auction off all 3 parcels that we have to do at once. So,
What are the three?
there's a small piece of, land in Lower Woodstock that's not really of much value called Lilac.
Oh, Lilac Lane,
Yeah,
9.
right next to the church.
yeah,
The dead end road
I
that
think
hops
if you
right
put
back up. There used to be a house there that JR used to live in, then there was a trailer there that Downings lived in, and now it's just a empty lot.
and then the, town garage, the old town garage, and the old fire station. So they'd all be auctioned, I think it's the 23rd of January or something.
That's the last I heard.
yeah, I think that was the email that we received.
That could change depending if things get piled up a little bit, but towards the end of January. So they do all the work, they do all the advertising, they've got a huge, you know, database of people that look for the properties and stuff like that, so. They thought to do the auction here just because you don't want to go to each parcel because there's no parking, it'd be a pain in the neck, so. People can visit that morning or whatever, we'll arrange for that, so if they want to go to these places, they can, then get in, so. Then we'll have the auction later that day.
So it'll be here on the 23rd.
I think it's a
That's the
23rd,
plan, it's a Saturday.
Saturday.
So we need to make a motion. Again, do we need to revoke?
I think it should, because this
Okay.
is incorporated, that one's null and voided, and this is
Okay.
incorporated.
So,
So a motion to void the contract we signed in the last meeting. And enter into this contract that includes the old fire station, the old public works garage, and Lilac Street. So I make that motion. Do I have a second?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, who's signing, who's gonna authorize signing? Okay,
Well, I'm so happy you're on the project. Have you sign and give it to me now? All right, so next up, we have acceptance of donations, for the Woodstock Firefighter Fund. So we have donations, from t-shirt sales in the amount of $2,320. Do I have a motion? I know, do we have, do we have a motion to accept this donation?
No, it's selling.
All right,
Yeah, it just blows me, every time I see that, roll in like that, it blows me away.
Right? That's great, though.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, no, great, super,
It makes sense. It's the venue attracts people in the fire service and,
yeah,
you know, from out of town, out of state, it's an
they
opportunity.
like to collect that type of thing.
so you suppose a PD could
No, we're,
come up with some kind of plan, no?
no, I'm happy.
I'll second
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And then up next, we have a couple of check requests, from that same Woodstock firefighter fund. We have one for Halloween candy in the amount of $165. Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make that work.
it, I'll
Okay,
second it.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have another one for food that was supplied, for an accident that, they attended to for $128.68. Do you have a motion?
Motion accepted.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have a request for a couple of checks in the amount of $250 each to be issued as donations to first responders and their families who are facing some medical challenges right now. And that would be paid through this firefighter fund as well. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. We are going to table, the budgets, the planning budget, the personnel administration budget, and the sewer budget until Monday at 3 p.m. We'll have a workshop to work on those three budgets. So next up, we have public participation. Is there anybody that has anything that they would like to? Yes, Bill?
At the end of the last meeting, I asked if it was okay to inquire of you the statement back in, it was the October 4th meeting regarding Johnson Road and Mountains, aka Mountainside Road. You made it. I've been spending a lot of time taking that back, trying to find out if it is a class 6 road, who granted it. And at the close of the meeting, you made a statement to somebody about plowing. I forget who it was.
Oh, what?
About plowing, that you were plowing a class 6 road all winter. So if that is a class 6 road,
Yes,
it is,
unmaintained,
but it is a class 6 road.
correct.
Anything else? Yes, Mark.
All right, I don't know if I missed something kind of sketchy with my attendance here, but a while back I had asked a bunch of questions about Airbnb and volume of that type of stay and in room and meals tax.
Judy was actually talking with DRA this week about the rooms and meals tax. And they said there's no like great formula for it. As far as how they do it, like, yeah, we pay in a whole lot, but it's done off of population versus actual what you pay in. And so for any of that to actually change, it's not something that we can change as selectmen, but it's knocking on the doors and talking to our legislators, our local senator, and then our local rep, and asking them how we can revisit that language at the state level.
Because it's not really clear the way it works.
It's not.
No, that's why, you know, other towns are doing fees in the meantime to compensate. I mean, when you look at the size of the people that are staying in this town on weekends, and a lot of it's through these apps for staying. We've got, what are we, 1,500 people in this town?
1360,
So
4 or
we're
5.
getting a percentage based on the population, not the actual weekend. And it's really not fair to stick the taxpayers with that.
It's not just the Airbnbs, it's hotels like mine, it's restaurants and everything else. We bring in a lot more money
Oh, I
per
get that.
capita than other towns do, and we don't get our share back for sure. You know, I agree.
Well,
should we consider a fee
I think
with
we've been working on it.
every online?
Yeah, we've been looking.
We've been following
We're
a
following
couple towns that are trying to implement that right now, but
Franconia, Jackson, Bethlehem. I spoke with the chairman over in Bethlehem about what they're looking at. I think the question we have or what we need to figure out is how deeply involved we want to be with it. Do we want to have it so that the building inspector has to go out and inspect them, or the fire chief has to go out and inspect them on an annual basis? Is it just a one-time inspection? I think we have a few things to figure out before we can just say, okay, you're gonna pay $50.
I think they should have an occupancy permit. You know, so
So-
that John goes, the fire department goes, checks it out, make sure it's safe, all the alarm systems okay, the egress is okay. Personally, I think, and there should be a fee for some of that stuff.
Oh, so then we would have to include that into
Yep.
the annual fee. So if we wanted $50 to go into the general fund, and then X amount, another $50 pays for the building inspector and the fire department, yeah, the fire
we
chief.
have to get through town meeting. and
Yeah.
time to
Yeah.
Try to go down that road.
I think it'll probably take a workshop or two to
I agree.
pull some.
I know it's something that's just not gonna snap your fingers and
Right,
go into play, but it's something that we really should consider
yeah, we're
in
walking,
the
yeah.
grand scheme of it, and I'm just following up on my questions. That's all.
I'll have that in my notes here too.
And what? Yeah, I gotta start going first too. I do have more. That's all right.
Okay.
So Triple I Road,
Yes,
we were discussing, you'll inform me that it's class 7 road.
yes,
I've talked with the Forest Service.
Yeah.
And they were telling me that it's state. And
that's what they're trying to
I
say.
don't know who told you guys that that was federal, but I was told by someone else also that when the interstate went through, all the properties along Triple I Road got readjusted. Everything's wider for the road, and that was all done by the state. And I just want to double check before I,
Yeah, when you go into New Hampshire DOT's website, it clearly tells you that it's a class 7 road from the Avery Farm, where Avery Farm comes onto Triple I Road up all the way to Waterville. But you're correct that the Forest Service believes that's an error. And so we've been working and Judy's been in contact with Will, right? William, huh? Wayne, sorry. And he's still pretty insistent. So we're trying to figure out right now, the Forest Service has sent over some deeds for us to look through. Deeds from the Merriams, deeds from Avery's to figure out, but that's really deeds that are deeded to them,
Not to us, yes.
access their deeds showing access of that road. So we have some more research that we're working on.
so
Yeah,
the
They
the
don't.
comment I was told to make was when the interstate went through, the state readjusted everything along that road all the way up to the gate. How would the state have the jurisdiction to do that on federal property is my question.
Okay,
Good question. And that's,
we'll look into it.
because they don't want me plowing.
Who doesn't want you plowing?
Forest Service.
Plowing to your house?
How can they do
Probably
that?
wants you at home.
Talked about the liability and they've got their engineers. I didn't get the name of the engineers that are working on it.
Well, maybe that will give them some incentive to get us some documentation.
That's ridiculous.
I raised a question about liability and traffic. And also if they're gonna, when they're gonna log, they've got a 5-year plan working on. I was just trying to follow up on that as well.
Okay,
Wow.
we will circle back with them some more.
They
And
really
we'll
said you
circle
can't-
back with Wayne.
Yep.
They really said you can't plow.
When I
We're gonna
said,
be
I was
able to
told
work
by the town that I had to plow it myself and I was calling to ask about liability about plowing on federal roads. The I was talking through a receptionist that was talking back and forth through to. I don't know the head guy, but it got handed off to, I was told 2 engineers are working on it. Once I explained to them the details of,
They are working on it?
That would be
Oh.
two that would probably. be-
Yeah.
That I really need. more
That's
from.
good news.
But.
it was handed off to engineers outside of their mainland.
The land
So,
surveyors.
Well,
Can't
maybe
stop you
not.
from getting
This might
people.
get them really
oh,
moving.
nothing's gonna stop me. The traffic, like, I can, if I'm plowing up to my driveway, I guarantee you there's gonna be dozens of snowmobile pickups with trailers pulling up. I'm just plowing into my driveway. I'm not gonna give them a turnaround.
Right.
And there's gonna be a lot of snow piles in the middle of the road and shit. I just was calling up about liability plowing on federal land and seeing what their stance was.
We will circle back with Wayne.
Yeah.
I think it might be just getting everybody in the room. And hashing it out, so. Thank you.
Something.
One more.
Go ahead.
Last night in the Conservation Commission, we were talking about fees, legal fees, and there's a general fund to cover Laura's
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we can keep track of the time and her expenses on Merriam Woods project?
Mhm.
So that can be communicated to the townspeople?
Mhm.
That's all.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. They document their time really well.
Itemized.
5 to 15 minutes. Come on.
Oh, I
That's-
know,
that's-
there's lawyers a lot.
I know.
Mm.
Let's do that.
I know.
Sorry to hear that.
Contracts.
Anything else?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
5:22 p.m.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming out this evening. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Monday.
One Monday, right, Monday, 3.